Hey, welcome to the Empath X community call. I'm Jeremy. Glad to be here. Glad to have everybody that's jumping in to meet this week. As always, we are a community without conditions, and we invite everybody to bring what's authentically theirs, which is the topic that I'm going to be talking about tonight. I'm going to be doing a little 10-minute segment, then we turn off the camera and hang out and chat. And those of you watching in the aftermath, if you want, you can go to empathx.org. You can find all sorts of stuff there, like the archive, the old videos. You can find the schedule. You can find a place to make a donation or even join a Facebook. There's so many choices. It's hard for people to know what to do with all of those choices. Anyway, without much being said, this evening's topic I chose because I've had some really beautiful opportunities to uh, really be honest with myself lately about my life and choices and things working out and not working out in the way that I want them to, and being grateful. And so the idea that I came to that I wanted to talk about tonight was being authentic. And the way I mean that is through this concept of coherence. It's the idea that a lot of us experience others of being confident or like they got a handle on things, like the way that and like there's like a dozen thousand situations where we could paint where if somebody isn't confident in a situation, we back away. But if they're confident, we lean in. Like we get scammed by people that are confident, right? We get like taken advantage of. So this example is all over the place. But the idea that I love talking about is that there's an element of I don't want it that is important to be present with in our lives. Because if we only ever got what we want, obviously we'd be spoiled. All sorts of different things. But really, it's an interesting, and this is, I know I'm telling this kind of sideways, but the way that this topic came out for me was in this exploration around wealth and the things that are happening with wealth. It seems like the common denominator to me in a lot of the things is the haves are getting even more, and the have-nots, what little they have is taken from them. And so it's like this weird dividing line that we're doing to ourselves. It's like we don't have to, but we are. It's really weird. I'm trying to wrap my head around it, but then also my own stuff. And it's like I choose to be present with my anger, but I'm not trying to resolve it because I've done a lot of work around it. So it's not like I'm unsafely expressing it or having any sort of harm to me. It's an emotion, and I'm very familiar with it. But boy, it's all consuming. And these things that I love, like what Brian says. It's what is, and what you prefer it to be. And in that space is like recognizing like, oh, I see what I'm doing to myself is I'm not being authentic. Is my anger's there is asking me to look at something. And there's some energy, there's some focus, there's something there that I'm either not doing because I don't want to do it, or I'm doing and I need to stop doing it.
Mhm.
Either way, it's a practice of how I show up, of who I get to be in this space. This is the introduction that I'm bringing in for the today's topic. It's very simple, it's very easy, but just this idea of like how do we be authentic? And what I've come to learn is that I have a tendency to not want to open it up and look at it and or make a choice because I don't want to make a mess. I don't want to make a mistake. I don't, and so this is I'm sharing this on camera just for the sake of the setup of the conversation we're about to have. But the idea to me is like I get to look at my anger so that way I can see beyond the thing that I'm angry about. I mentioned a friend that I was upset with. It's not about him. It's about my expectation of how I want him to be. And so it's that question that I get to answer. If this guy's going to be the same, which he keeps being the same, is do I keep
Mhm.
spending time with this person? It's not like the first time it's ever happened, and I'm like, this guy's a jerk, and I'm leaving. No, this is a common thing, and I've had this conversation repeatedly. So that's the thing that I'm bringing forward today is like in these games that we're playing, as we're burping up the things to look at, like, are like, am I like forcing myself to change it because I don't like it, don't want it? Or am I being present with it and allowing the clarity to help me see what that next step really is? And so to me, that space of what I'm learning and going into is like, boy, I'm doing a really great job of taking care of myself lately. I've got this home. I've got this amazing place to live in. Like all these basics, all the things. I've got this wonderful community that I get to make all sorts of stupid mistakes and share all sorts of silly things and just keep being loved on, you know? It's just like this, the things that some people never get to have. I have right now already. So what am I really upset about? It's like,
Mm.
oh, there's this little boy that's feeling like he wants something, so I can go towards those things. But to me, I think that that thing that I've learned about, and this, I'm going to end on this, is to not be so snap judgment like I have recently done. It's like just remembering, like, oh, I see what I'm doing again. That clarity on me is that confidence to know, like, oh, that's not it. I'm not going to shame myself like I used to because I made a mistake. I put something out and it's not really what it's going to be, and everyone's going to think I'm flaky. Now, I was already flaky before they thought that. So, what's the difference? You know, it's like if they're going to focus on that humanity and be upset about my flakiness, then guess what? You're probably not going to work out between us anyway, because I'm a bit of a creative, you know, and, not one of those guys that doesn't have many words or have very few emotions and just, haul rocks all day long, which is fine. Nothing wrong with hauling rocks if that's your job. That's your passion, if you're a rock hauler, God bless you, brother. But that ain't me. Uh, anyway, so there you go. That is my chatty chat.